Hello everybody, this is our introduction to the south area of Bradford.
South Bradford has quite a young population, so 23.1% of the population are aged under 16 and 11.6% of the population are aged between 16 to 24. Most households include a family and the majority of people are from a white ethnic background and speak English as a main language.
The Bradford district is made up of 14 wards. One of those wards is known as Royd's Ward and includes the areas of Buttershaw, Woodside, Harold Park and Horton Bank. Buttershaw also holds a place in film history, as it was the setting for the cult film Rita, Sue and Bob 2 in 1986, as well as The Selfish Giant in 2013, and both are depicted in murals in the underpass outside MMT. Next slide. Next slide.
Okay, so Homewood, as you can see in the pictures, Homewood's mainly consisting of low-rise buildings, apart from two tall blocks of flats. These are called Ogden House and Kelvin House. It's not unusual to see horses walking around Homewood. In the bottom left corner, there's a Homewood community who are trying to protect their social club because there's plans to turn that into a retail unit. And in the bottom right-hand corner is the Homewood pub. Next slide. So a few facts about Homewood. There's a few primary schools. There's Rycroft, Knowleswood and Carlwood, and they feed largely into Ton. There's also a children's centre. The results are fairly mixed at primary school. At secondary school, the results are improving. However, it does remain below Bradford and England averages. Yeah, the pockets of Homewood are in the top 5% and 1% of the government's index of deprivation. Demographics are largely white working class, although unemployment rate is also high. There's been some success in turning around the antisocial behaviour within Homewood, primarily by youth workers and by police. There's also been some work funded by Comic Relief and as partnerships with Bradford City Football Club and Bradford Bulls. And it's the birthplace of actresses Sophie McShearer, also Daisy from Downton, and Jennifer Metcalfe from Hollyoaks. Next slide.
This is another part of the south area called Queensbury. As you can see the aerial view there, it's about 4 miles from the centre of Bradford. It is renowned for snow, as you can see in the bottom picture there, and these are the Black Dyke Mills. Queensbury is one of the highest and largest villages in England. Its demographic is mainly white working class. Box Hill Primary School is the highest primary school in England. Therefore, it comes with a warning of be prepared in those winter months, as it can be snowing here and nowhere else. So do check for school closures. Yeah.
One of the other areas is Bowling Park, which is named originally after Bowling Hall, which is in the picture on the left. Bowling Hall is one of the oldest buildings in Bradford, mentioned in the Doomsday Book. It's now a museum regularly visited by local schools. Bowling Park is one of the more diverse areas of the south, in that whilst there's a large number of white working class families, there's also some from other ethnic backgrounds. But in terms of deprivation, would still be one of the higher levels. There's pockets which are again in the top 5 and 1%. Probably the most kind of well-known feature of Bowling Park is the park itself, which was created from land which was essentially stolen from the hall. Next slide, please. The park is Grade 2 listed in dates from 1880 and is sometimes seen as being somewhat at odds with some of the areas around it, which are much more kind of 1950s and later housing estates. There is also a golf course in the park and some tennis courts. There was also apparently at one point a croquet pitch, although I understand that that has since been tarmacked over. But the most important thing about Bowling Park is that it is home to, next slide, the Bowling Park Lodge Cafe, which for my money is the best place to get coffee in all of South Bradford and possibly in all of Bradford itself. Next slide.
Okay. So just as an overview of general things to consider, these might be also relevant to the other areas of Bradford as well, but just based on personal experience of working in the South area, it's quite essential to build positive relationships with everyone involved with the child or the young person. So for example, the teacher, the parent and the SENCO. It'd be quite beneficial to take a personal contact number so it's easier to track or to communicate. And often you may need to send multiple emails and contact attempts when conducting the monitoring reviews, but in general I found it's beneficial to sort of send an overview document of clear steps and outcomes, so it's easier for the sort of parties involved to know what's sort of expected, and hopefully you can have a smooth transition of the piece of work that you're doing.
So we've tried to share with you some of the things that we think are important about working in the South area of Bradford. We hope that's been helpful, and we're very happy to take any questions from anybody.